Hi guys. With all of the security issues that are going on today, especially with Ukraine and Russia, I'm getting asked about my trip and if I'm going to cancel it or if I'm going to postpone or if I'm going to change my route. And the truth is, I knew going into Go Roughly Around the World that having a set itinerary was just nonsense. There are way too many factors that could affect how the trip is going to go and where we're going to end up. So from day one, I knew that we were going to have to be flexible in terms of our route. So I obviously have a route plan. You can see it on Go Roughly Around the World on our landing page. You'll see sort of the route that we intend to take. But that's sort of a proposed route. And if there are security issues or situations where it's unsafe for us to be, that's going to cause us to change how we're going to travel. Greg and I, we met overseas. We met when we were in South Sudan, and we were working in really insecure areas. So we know what that feels like, and we know how quickly things can change in those areas for the worse. So I am prepared to update the route that we're going to take the same way that I would have to update it if COVID ends up being more of an issue for us and borders start closing again, or if they're still closed and what the situation is. So I know that we're going to have to just be flexible and go with it. The same way that we have to go with it when I have a bike breakdown, like I do right now. It means that we'll have to change our plans and some of the things that we have organized, that we'll have to just shift the dates and deal with it as it comes. But in terms of the security that's happening and the insecurity in Ukraine and Russia, we won't be in that area until probably the fall of 2023. So it's still over a year away. And obviously things can change quite rapidly, but we'll keep an eye on it. And if it does expand to further areas, there are ways that we can get around it. And it might mean that we might not be able to go overland in all the places that we want to go. We might have to ship our bikes or ourselves or have to fly. And we're prepared for that. And as much as we say that this is an around the world trip, if it turns out that because the world has sort of gone to crap and it's not possible, well, we're not going to put ourselves specifically in harm's way to reach our around the world goal. We want to be able to share our fundraiser for Girl Up to as many countries as we can and share it with as many people as we can. But if that means that we don't necessarily make a whole around the world trip, I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm thankful that we're able to do what we're doing right now. And if security situations get pretty bad, we definitely keep an eye on it. We don't want to put ourselves in harm's way, but we also we want to be cautious about the advice that we're taking and where we're taking it from when it comes to security on the ground. It's the same way in Guatemala. I think we've mentioned this before, but at Lake Atitlán where we were living, there is a stretch of road that is not paved, that there are what do you call them? Banditos, like robbers that will come out of the hillside and try and mug you and steal your car and all of that. And it's just like a 7-kilometer stretch. It's not very long, but it's known to happen. So because we knew that and we were on the ground, we didn't end up ever going all the way around the lake. We would go to one point and we can go around to the other point, but we didn't ever do that stretch. But it's one of those things where if you're traveling, like, you ask as best as you can when you're on those types of roads, or if you are going to stray off the main path, you sort of ask people, well, what's the road like? What's the security like? And people who are there on the ground, they know it best. Like, I can look online all day long and research what a road is going to be like, but until you actually get there at that moment, you're not going to have really the true information as you would have if you spoke to a local on the ground. So that's what we like to do. We will ask to see if there are any issues of taking a certain route, if it looks a bit iffy on the map, or if it's something that's that doesn't look really well traveled, and get the advice that we can. And at that point, we make a decision. And that's what traveling is all about, is you got to make the best decision you can for yourself, and hope that it turns out, and have sort of contingency plans in place. Like with us having a spot tracker, being able to send out an SOS if there ever was anything with an injury or a bike or a security situation, we have that option, and letting people know where we're going to be. That's also another important thing. So we do try and take our security seriously, but we also are cautious about being a little too scared about it, because you know, it's that thing when you travel where somebody in one country will say their neighbors are like, even it's way more dangerous if you go there, you shouldn't go there. You get there and it's fine, and then they say, oh no, my neighbor to the north is even worse. It's sort of that mentality that can cause you to be really scared and anxious, but might not be warranted. So I just, for us, I just make sure that we are thinking things through when it comes to security, getting information from the right people at the right time, to help guide our plan. But as of now, everything is still a go. Once we get to the tip of Alaska, we hope to go across Canada to Toronto, fly to Madrid, and cross over by ferry to Morocco. I'm seeing some small reports that there is, the ferry is gonna start running, hopefully, between Spain and Morocco in the next few months. And we're not gonna be doing that until like October. So there's still a number of months left that this can happen. Worst case is we decide to fly into Morocco instead of Spain. But that's the plan right now. We're taking things as it comes. Flexibility is key. And we're just gonna keep on going. Thanks guys for watching.